Welcome to an all-new Hot Take Nation Super Bowl edition. I'm your host, Pete Courier. Today we will take a look back at Super Bowl 51, and the guys will fire off the hottest takes on what some are calling the greatest Super Bowl in history, and I don't think they're quite wrong. Today in the hot seats, we welcome back two members of The Rush, a sports talk show on Westfield State's own WSKB 89.5 FM. On my left, we have Anthony Swenson, host of The Rush and broadcaster for Westfield Athletics. And over on my right, we have Connor Norton, a senior standout intramural athlete and co-host on The Rush. Welcome to the program, both of you.
Absolutely.
So, Super Bowl 51 is over, although the way that game went, it feels like it's still going on. In the early headlines following the game, we're calling it the greatest ever. So what do you guys think? Where does this Super Bowl stand on the 50 that preceded it? Let's start with Connor this time.
I personally think it is the greatest Super Bowl game ever played. I will agree with that. It had ups and downs. It had a comeback of over 20-plus points. I mean, there was a lot there, and people are arguing it to the Seattle game where Butler made that catch. And I feel like the difference to that is that the Seahawks didn't complete the comeback. If they would have won, I feel like it would have been a little bit more. But I still think this is the better game.
I don't think this is a better game. I think the Seahawks and Patriots game in 49 was a much better game. Just the fact that the first half you had, the Falcons were just taking off. It was unbelievable what they were doing. Julio Jones with turf toe was going off. Unbelievable game by him. Unbelievable first half by Matt Ryan. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in the second half after you come out of the locker room. Then you come back and you're like, okay, the Patriots seem to have something happening. And then the second half was the greatest second half of football I have ever seen.
Did you really not think they would know what to do at the second half? The Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I knew they were not
for
just,
the seventh time.
I knew they were not just at one point, but when you're down by 25 points,
Were you confident the whole time?
No, I was.
You weren't.
As a Patriots fan,
as not a Patriots fan, I was.
I was not confident. I wasn't confident in the ability that they're going to make it a game. After seeing what they did after the first couple touchdowns and the pick six, I'm like, okay, they're doing something. They got the field goal, and then it really changed off of that Hightower fumble, that forced fumble.
The Hightower fumble. I think what kind of changed the offense was that Edelman catch in the middle of the third quarter. I think that kind of, everyone's like, okay, I think Brady the whole time, until that seemed, I don't know, nervous is the right word.
He wasn't nervous.
He was throwing, it seemed like he was throwing double, triple coverage the entire,
but he was
not throws he would normally make.
He was getting hit hard. He got sacked four times in the first half, got hurried about 6 times in the first half. Yeah. It was an unbelievable defensive rush that we haven't seen all season besides Vic Beasley.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was more Freeney. Freeney with the spin move worked. I mean, he's an old man. He can still get off the line pretty quick.
He had, what, 1 or 2?
1 sack and 2 hurries. Unbelievable game by him. Brady, some stats, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns in that 1 pick six. So, I mean, it was a great game overall, but I don't think the greatest game ever because you look a Super Bowl game ever. You look at the Seattle game. You had both teams answering touchdowns back and forth. Seahawks were up at one point. The Patriots were up at one point. It was just really back and forth.
I think it was the comeback that made this one better, though. The full comeback from over.
But was it a
20.
full game? It was not.
But it wasn't a full game for either team. Atlanta only scored 7 points in the second half.
But it wasn't a full good game. Either one team had the advantage in the first half, and the other team had the advantage in the second half and overtime.
But it also came down. I mean, I like when Super Bowls come down to that last play.
Yeah.
Maybe a field goal. Are you happy that it didn't come down to a field goal?
Absolutely. Mr. Doink the Clown, Gostkowski, unbelievable. The first extra point in the Super Bowl that he can make, he misses. I mean, it's inside. It was unfathomable to see inside you can't make an extra point. You get paid to make 50-yard field goals, and you can't hit a 33-yard PAT. It was unbelievable. I was beside myself when I saw that. And you know, we have a group
Immediately,
chat.
I knew that you were. I knew right away that you were not going to be happy. I lost my mind.
And then when he had to hit the same yardage of field goal, he right through the uprights. I don't know what it is, but it's unbelievable.
That's kickers this year. I don't know if there's an explanation for that. That's just how.
I really don't know. Yeah. And the one thing you got to look at in this game that the Atlanta Falcons didn't do is the free kick scenario. In the NFL, if you have only a little time left, you can have the kicker and the placeholder, only 2 guys on the field to take a kick. It's a free kick. Anything can happen. And that is something that you've never seen But the Falcons and Dan Quinn never did it. And you heard Bill Belichick earlier the week before the Super Bowl. He talked about it. Hey, there's a chance at free kicks. You don't know. Anything can happen in the Super Bowl. So it's one of those things you go back and forth about.
You know what I think was a big thing also was after the Patriots did that onside kick, it seemed like every time after the Falcons played onside recover. So they'd come back, and then Gostkowski would kick it deep, and he would run out of the 10-yard line because there was nowhere to go.
So Gostkowski only did 2 things right this whole game. Those 2 kicks at the end of the game to pounce him in around the 10-yard line. That onside kick was ridiculously bad.
Yeah,
it was a good kick. Don't run for it. You're not gonna hit it.
Yeah.
It's like run, Forrest, run. You know, run right into the ball. It was unbelievable to see a kicker try to block somebody. Listen, you're skin and bones right there. You're not gonna block anybody.
Yeah, you should have
Just
someone
run
on
out
it.
of the
Yeah.
way. Run out of the way. You have Pete. Let me finish. You have somebody in the way as a kicker, just running over the ball. It was unbelievable. They could have cut that ball. That ball went 10 yards, and they had a chance to grab it. But if Gostkowski didn't hit it.
All right, we need to move on to the next topic. So the story of this game and really the whole season starts and ends with Tom Brady. 5 Super Bowl rings, 4 Super Bowl MVPs, and not really much sign of slowing down at the age of 39, which is unprecedented in the game of football. Is Tom Brady the greatest football player ever, and is Deflategate finally behind everybody?
I think
Starting from
Deflategate's
Anthony.
gone. I think Deflategate's over. He's Super Bowl MVP. He's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I don't think he's the greatest player yet. I don't like putting him in the category of greatest player yet. He's not done. He's not done yet. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If he lost this game in the fashion that it looked like he was going to lose, I don't even think he's in the conversation of the top 2 greatest quarterbacks. Me as a Patriots fan, while watching that game and seeing the errant throws he was throwing in the first half, I wouldn't even put him, if they lost that game, in the top 2 of greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Whoa. I don't know, man. I'm not even a Patriots fan. I don't believe that. You don't think Tom Brady is one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks?
If he lost that game,
Why?
because he goes to the Super Bowl, he's already lost 3 at this point.
He's 39,
Yes.
4 rings
Yeah.
at this point. Even if I see them going back years to come. He's still playing.
But he would be 4-3 in the Super Bowl if they lost that game.
See, I think he is the best player in NFL. I think of all time.
Jim Brown, Lauren.
Super Bowls. I think what describes the best player is the clutch. He's always clutch. He comes to work every year.
Let me ask
every
you this.
play.
Can Brady play any other position besides quarterback? That scrawny
Who
quarterback?
else? Can Jim Brown?
Jim Brown could have played wide receiver. Jim Brown played running back.
Quarterback in different positions.
Tim Tebow, say for example, I'm
okay.
throwing that out there. Tim Tebow could play running back somewhere. I mean, at one point you got to say he is the greatest quarterback's one of those positions that you can't compare to anybody else. They're their own entity.
I think football in general, it's tough to compare a wide receiver to a line. You know, like who's the better player?
Yeah, you can. Absolutely.
I feel like
Those
it's a lot
positions-
tougher.
you can compare-
not those positions.
Let
But
me
if you're
say,
saying wide receiver
Deion
to running
Sanders
back,
or
a lot
Jerry
tougher.
Rice?
What?
Deion Sanders or Jerry Rice?
I'd say Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice, me too.
Well, that's offense. Yeah.
But that's offense and defense. It's one of the things you can compare. A quarterback you can't compare. In my opinion, he does the most for the team, but at one point he has cast of characters to help him along the way. I mean, he's not a mobile quarterback. If he was, say, like a Michael Vick who had the move out of the pocket to run. Yes, he had a 19-yard run, but it looked like he was a scrawny fish running across the sea.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable to see the fact that him running as one, but seeing him win his 5th Super Bowl at 39 years old, yes, but he's not the greatest player yet.
I have never seen anyone know how to win like Tom Brady.
Clutch fashion, yes.
Clutch, not even just clutch. Just he comes to work. He knows how to put the team first. He puts the team first. He makes the plays for the team.
I'm not saying he's not the greatest quarterback. I'm just saying he's not the greatest player. I think football is one of those hard things to say. He is the greatest player. Jim Brown's in that conversation. LT's in that conversation.
I just think the rings, just because we add rings and we talk about rings at all the other sports, whoever's good has the most rings. I don't know.
There's other players with more rings in certain sports. There's more players in basketball than Jordan
but-
with rings.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but we say he's the top.
He is the top quarterback with rings, yes. And I'm going to have to disagree with you again with the greatest player. You have Brown, you have Jerry Rice, you got all these players, and I'm going to throw somebody in there, and I know he's not in the category of greatest player,
Uh-oh.
but I think, and I'm going to use this platform to
Brett
say,
Favre?
to say, no, Brett
okay.
Favre's not even close.
Oh, okay. I
Has
see
the
it.
most career interceptions as a
Oh,
quarterback.
I 100% agree with you.
I'm going to say right now, one of the greatest wide receivers I have ever seen play the game, who's been slanted from making the Hall of Fame, Terrell Owens. And I know this is a different question.
Oh, no, yeah.
But I'm going to say Terrell Owens right now on this show, I'm going to look in the camera. Terrell Owens should be in the Hall of Fame. He is
Hall of
one.
Fame. I thought we were talking about better than Tom Brady.
I know, but I'm just I had to add that piece. After seeing what he got through, he got scrubbed from the Hall of Fame last year, scrubbed this year. It was unbelievable to see what you see there. I mean, he's one player. He has records in receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, single receiving years. You can't do something like that. It's a team sport. The Hall of Fame is not about teammates. It's about individual stats.
Yeah, and I agree. I think Terrell. I don't know how we got on Terrell Owens, but I think Terrell Owens.
I had to bring it up because it was one of those things that it was with Super Bowl weekend. Super Bowl weekend is one of those things. You got the Hall of Fame, you got the awards, you got everything built into one. But that was just my final take on that. It's like he's gotten scrubbed so many times. So in the past 2 years, he deserves to get in at one point.
All right, so it's never too early to start looking ahead, and especially if you're a New England fan. The New England Patriots are the early favorites to take home the Lombardi Trophy again next year. But there's a lot of question marks for the team as they head into free agency. So the question is, who is your lock to take home next season's Super Bowl? Connor, we're going to start with you this time.
All right. Well, one of the top 4 odds, Green Bay Packers. I think the Green Bay Packers could get there. If they have a healthy season, don't give me that face. If they have a healthy season, you see what they could have done. They won 9 straight. Why can't they do that over a full season? If they stay healthy, I think the Packers could be one of the teams in the Super Bowl. And I would love to see a Packers-Patriots Super Bowl. I think the Patriots will run the table next year again as well. But, man, that would be a good game.
No, it wouldn't.
Why wouldn't that be a good
It
game?
would not be a good game.
What?
Your defense is soft as pillows. It's one of those.
So was Atlanta until the third quarter.
That defense was hurt as well. That Atlanta's defense
And
was
so
hurt.
was ours.
Yeah, but
don't you
I
give
could have
me
played
that.
on that defense. It was 100% healthy.
You wish.
I could have played safety on that
Are
team.
you serious?
Barrett and Clinton Dix is the softest safeties I've seen in the league. They can't play the ball well. You have Sam Shields, who's one of the oldest corners in the league. He can't cover anymore. It's in a McCarthy system. It's trash. McCarthy is the worst coach I have seen who can play. He coaches at a high level, but he coaches to be there. Not like Bill Belichick, who coaches to win.
Yeah, see, I don't. You're arguing DBs when the Patriots DBs, I personally don't believe aren't as good or aren't the
You
top.
tell me Butler's-
They're not the top in the league.
Butler's
not
top
bad.
10?
I'm not a big Butler fan. I'm really not.
Butler's top 10.
Yeah,
At the number 2
agreed.
position, Logan
I
Ryan.
didn't say. Logan Ryan. Dude, come
Logan
on.
Ryan is the top
Come on,
second
man.
corner in the league. Nobody else
on.
can match him at the second position.
Oh, that's a different discussion.
No, it's not. It's the same discussion because the Patriots. That's the reason I'm taking the Patriots. Patriots at 7-1 odds, and your Green Bay.
I want
Packers.
to see that. That's a good game, though.
It's not going to be a good game
Why don't you think it would be a good game?
because this will be the first Super Bowl.
Who else do you want to play?
I don't care at this
You
point.
don't care
but I
at
don't want
this
to play the
point.
Packers. I think
The not as good Tom Brady, right? As you said last time.
I didn't say he's not that good. I think he's the GOAT at the quarterback position. But at one point, how can you say that the Green Bay Packers can? Hey, the NFC's gonna be weak next year.
How can I say what? The last time we played each other, we won.
Really?
2 years ago in Lambeau Field.
Yes, you guys
we
won. Regular season game.
Oh my God!
What did you guys
Let's
do?
play in the playoffs.
What did you
Let's
get-
play in the. I'm waiting. You can't say anything.
You're waiting. We were
I'm
waiting for you, and we made it.
We have yet. Oh, don't even.
We're waiting for you.
Steelers and Houston. Don't even go there.
Really? Who
Don't
did you
even.
guys have to play?
Are you kidding? me?
Detroit?
Detroit.
Easy.
Detroit wasn't in the
Oh.
playoffs. Detroit was last game of the end.
To make it in,
To
sorry.
make it, not to make it, but to be
Yeah.
first place.
So who did you guys have to play in the playoffs?
Well, Atlanta first, so that was pretty. Well, not first, but
Nah.
Atlanta and what? Why can't I remember?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Dude, Cowboys and Atlanta.
But you got past Cowboys pretty easily with that.
I don't know about easily.
Not easily,
They
but
picked it up at the end.
But they did. But
those are two. I would. Would you rather play the Cowboys in Atlanta or Houston?
Oh, Houston and Steelers all
okay,
day long.
then what are we talking about?
But next year coming on, you guys have no weapons. Your wide receivers are slow as snails. It's one of those things that how can Aaron Rodgers keep on doing what he's doing? He's gonna get hit at one point. He's gonna get hit hard.
My whole thing is that's what everyone says every year. They have improved. The Packers have not proved to me that they can't do it. That their wide
They
receivers
can't do it. They haven't made the Super Bowl.
They haven't made. They've been right there every time.
Can I tell you?
I think it's more in the defense. We're talking about wide receiver. I think it's more in the defense if we're going to talk about getting to the Super Bowl.
Your offense has to do stuff too. I mean, you guys didn't do anything against Atlanta, and they have no defense. They have no defense, and you even said that.
I know that I did, but
you
I
said,
can't look at you like that. dude.
But you saying about Green Bay Packers making it to the Super Bowl, but you haven't had an argument to say they have a consistent defense and a consistent offense.
They haven't had a consistent defense.
Then
But
how
that
can you
offense
say
always-
they're gonna make the Super Bowl?
Who else? Who else is going to make the Super Bowl?
Seattle, Atlanta.
Dude, Seattle and Atlanta.
Really?
That could happen. I'm saying, who else could make it in
Cowboys.
the AFC? They didn't make it this
AFC?
year.
AFC?
Who else could make it in the AFC?
I don't think anybody at
No?
this point.
You don't think so?
No, because the top 5 teams right now are Patriots 7-1, Falcons 12-1, Cowboys 12-1, Packers 12-1, Seahawks 15-1, and the next AFC team are the Broncos at 17-1. And the Broncos
Oh
has
my goodness.
Scrubs as quarterback.
Yeah. They're really that high, huh?
Yeah,
The
and
Broncos.
I'd rather take Trent Dilfer as my quarterback than Simeon.
I wouldn't trade Trent Dilfer in anything.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Aaron Rodgers has the same amount of rings that Trent Dilfer, sir.
It's true.
But at one
Garoppolo
point,
has more, so look at that. Someone told me that the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, come on.
just saying, as a fact, you're saying, but your point is garbage to say. To
I don't
one
know,
point.
garbage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Because
Why?
you haven't gave me Patriots, consistent defense, amazing
You
offense.
can't say for any team. I understand the Patriots will make it there every year. You can have an argument for the Patriots every year. Every other team, anything could happen.
And that.
No, but no.
Anything could happen, just like this year. Anything could happen. Who thought Atlanta would run the table at the end and play? Don't say you.
we
Don't
said
say,
it
No, you
on
said
WS
you thought first game you'd throw up on himself, Matt Ryan. I did too. Everyone
Yeah.
did, because that's all he's done.
But then after
that
that-
could happen. The Patriots, always there. Well, I don't have.
But
I have
just as,
confidence.
but with your conversation
Anthony, I'm
about,
sorry, I
well,
have
let
to-
me finish this real quick.
No.
With you saying the Packers, you saying all these anything can happen. But when you're saying a team's going to win it all,
we need defense. If I'm going to say something, we need defense to get to that point.
but what team is more consistent than the Green Bay Packers in the NFC?
And that will be a wrap for
But
the
you
NFL
can't- no.
season and our special Super Bowl edition of Hot Take Nation. If you want to hear more, don't forget to check out The Rush on 89.5 FM WSKB for even more sports talk every Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Thank you for joining us on Hot Take Nation. We will see you next time.